The month of May 1943 was an absolute nightmare for the U-boat arm. Thankfully, U-531 was able to make it back home to Lorient with very minimal damage. Many U-boats were not so lucky, however. The Allies have dealt a decisive blow against the U-boats in the Battle of the Atlantic. During her stay in Lorient, U-531 was overhauled and fitted with new decoys, sonar, and radar. These tools will enable us to hunt a little bit easier, but unfortunately, there is still no counter to the Allied aircraft threat. The Atlantic Ocean is as dangerous as ever for U-boats, and surviving another day is cause for celebration. Hello everybody, Wolfpack345 here, and welcome aboard the bridge of the U-531 for our 6th patrol. And there you go, you can already hear my radar operator calling out contacts. We do have radar equipped on board, and radar is going to be quite interesting to use as we move forward. Honestly, I'm going to have to be rather picky when I use it, because the Allies do have radar detectors that are quite good. So I don't want to use these where I think there may be aircraft in the area or warships, because they'll pick it up and make a beeline for me. Other than that, there's a few other upgrades on the boat that I don't think you can really see. That's the big one. I also went ahead and we have, whoa, this boat's a-rockin'. We do have sonar now, so we can send out pings to establish range on single merchant shipping. Once again, we don't want to do this with Allied warship units in the area, because they will be able to hear that ping and they'll be able to know where it came from as well. And the only other upgrade we have today is Bold 2 decoys, and really the only difference between Bold 1, which we previously had and I did not use last patrol because I forgot I had them, and Bold 2 is the Bold 2 decoys last 2 to 3 minutes longer, but other than that it's pretty much the same effect. We have a ship and a floating dock up ahead, and a fairly hunky tanker up here. There's a few wrecked ships back here in Lorient, which makes me think it's been bombed recently. I was kind of wondering if we'd experience an air raid, but it looks like we're not going to get bombed today, which is quite nice. Let's go ahead and check the map. Oh, well, let's look at the crew real fast. So here's my crew. Not much has changed. A petty officer was sent off board for duty on another boat, and I gave myself another repairman because I've been having to do a lot of repairs recently on my boat, and I'd rather have multiple. It just gives you more flexibility. Repairs seem to be the most important right now. And our grid is GR91, and honestly this is a randomly assigned grid. I have GR, it's way down here, so we're going to actually try to make it down to South Africa this time and not dilly-dally over here by Freetown. So we're going to head for the Mid-Atlantic Gap. We might as well refuel at U488 while we're there, and then we'll head down to Cape Town. Hey, well, that's amazing that it worked out that way. Let's go ahead and plot a course out of here. We do want to be sure we avoid the minefields. Here we go. Lorient. Where is Lorient? Flensburg. That's here. Oh my gosh. To go through. Oh, here we go. Here's Lorient. Yeah, Lorient has nets and mines, so we kind of want to be sure we avoid both of those here. That should be sufficient, like that, and then we'll transit the Bay of Biscay here. We'll just make a straight line into the Mid-Atlantic Gap, where we'll cut south towards U488, and then we'll continue our journey to South Africa. We're going there this time. I know last patrol I said, you know, that was our objective, and we never made it because honestly we've got quite a few juicy targets over here. And used all my torpedoes. And speaking of torpedoes, we have a few different torpedoes. We have the Fat torpedoes, the Fat 1, and we also have the Fat 2, which is an electric. And if we go onto the TDC map, it's easier to show you guys. So here we go. We have the Fat, and it has a ladder pattern. So the real purpose of this is if you miss a target in a convoy, for example, the torpedo will come back around and hopefully hit said target that you just missed, or it'll it'll hit something else. It'll hit something in the convoy, because this is a fairly, it'll just zigzag back and forth until it hits something. Well, these fat torpedoes are something I'll have to mess with. To be honest, I have not used them too much at all. I've mostly just stuck with the regular torpedoes, but it'll be interesting to try these fat torpedoes out. In any case, the gist of it is they have a little search pattern if they miss, and hopefully they'll hit something in the convoy. So kind of cool concept there. We're getting awfully close to the dry dock. I can hear it out there. It's like merchant ships in there. Okay, well, that's really all I have to say at the moment. We'll continue our way out of Lorient. I do expect to be under air attack as we transit the Bay of Biscay. Quite a few of you were mentioning that it's probably safer to transit the Bay of Biscay on the surface during the day because your watch crews can see farther out, and I am going to attempt that this patrol. The only downside I see to transiting during the day is, yeah, you can see the enemy farther, but there's probably more aircraft patrolling during the day than at nighttime. So I guess it's a trade-off with being surfaced during the night or being surfaced during the day. Pick your poison, I suppose. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get out of Lorient. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm sure we will encounter something here. I almost guarantee it. Okay, folks, it's 1 p.m. We've left Lorient and we're now in open sea. As you can see, it's a little bit choppy today, and I just wanted to make a point that I am turning my radar off now. We're gonna go ahead and retract that, and the effect's not very good, but there it is. It is now in its housing, and let's be sure it's turned off on the, yep, and indeed it is off there. Perfect. So the radar is now off because the radar is really just going to be good at giving away our position at this point. It's not an air search radar. It only searches for surface ships, and I'm not too worried about surface ships right here. So we're going to rely on our lookouts to actually spot any incoming aircraft, because our Metox does not really work against the new Allied radar. So it's up to you, boys. We're going to also bring our speed up to standard and try to get through the Bay of Biscay relatively quickly. Okay, and that should bring our speed up to a somewhat reasonable speed. I don't want to really push it, like going full or flank. That's a little extreme. Okay, 14 knots, 14, 13 knots. That should be hunky-dory with me. We are getting slowed down a little bit by these choppy seas, but that'll be okay. We'll get through it. Let's check on the crew. Everyone's okay in their current positions. Yeah, that should be fine. All right, I just wanted to be sure you all, I wanted to make a point that I am turning off the radar, and it'll be helpful really in rough weather and foggy weather as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to use the radar that much due to the downsides of it, which I've stated is really being detected using it. Okay, already we're detecting radar signals. It could be an aircraft using older radar, so we're going to go ahead and submerge. All ahead full. This is very close. Let's go flank. It's still 20 kilometers away. Alright, we'll get under. Alright, and down we go. Some aircraft may be still using the older radar, so it is possible that we picked up another plane, or a plane. This would be the first plane of the patrol using Metox. Okay, and we are safely submerged. Let's actually drop down to 50 meters. I actually was just checking our depth under keel, and it was 81 meters earlier. So 71 meters now, so we'll drop down to 50. That seems like a relatively safe depth. Okay. Oh, do we have a hydrophone contact of it? Is it a ship? Oh, that's nearest contact. Nope. Okay, well, we'll drop down to 1/3. I guess that's one aircraft already evaded. I'm surprised they're operating this close to Lorient, but I guess now that I think about it, maybe I'm not that surprised they are. Okay, I resurfaced the boat and we have another one. I'm gonna check depth under keel real fast. 100 meters, crash dive. Alright, and down we'll go. Hopefully we dive in time. I'm surprised we're actually picking these up using our Metox. Yeah, this thing's closing really fast though, so I'm sure it is an aircraft. Alright, down we go. 9 meters, 10. Okay, like a rock. I want to be careful whenever I order to crash dive because I don't want it to be too shallow when we drop down and hit the seabed. Okay, 20 meters. Once we're down to around 40, and then I'll slow down. Generally, you're relatively safe at 40 meters. I'm definitely going to play it very cautious, this patrol. And try not to take too many insane risks. Alright, drop down to 1/3 speed. Alright, it's almost nightfall here. As you can see, the sun is just setting on the horizon. Apparently, we have a submarine spotted. I'm assuming it's friendly. 300. Okay. Oh, wow, look. 2 submarines out there. One, and there's one over at 305 degrees. Well, let's turn and take a closer look. Just out of curiosity, see what's going on. Periscope's up. Let's head towards them. Hello. It is nighttime. This is when I said I would be submerged, but I figured let's take a look at this sub. Yeah, we're close enough to make it out. Oh, I think I know what these are. It's a very interesting conning tower shape. I think these are U-flaks, which was a concept to really just put as many anti-aircraft guns as you could on a U-boat. And it was really used to escort other U-boats out of the Bay of Biscay. Yeah, it looks like I have 2 U-flaks here. That's what that looks like. Well, I might take them up on this escorting deal, and I'll just follow them. Mostly because it'll be interesting to see them shoot their guns at a plane. I'm sure they're going to get attacked. See, there they are. They're booking it, though. I don't know. Let's go full. I don't know why my watch crew is not able to spot them. I don't want to engage it with my deck gun, obviously. I just want to follow them. Well, I'll continue. Here, let's just use the external camera and take a look at these guys. I'm fairly certain they're U-boats. They would have attacked us if they weren't already. Yep, that's exactly what they are, U-flaks. And see, they have the 3 heavy flak guns on board. They were not effective. I know a lot of people want me to use my anti-aircraft guns. Really, you know, just to test them out and see what's going on, but the problem is they don't work. They're really ineffective against enemy aircraft. But I'll follow these guys around. They're kind of deviating from my course quite a lot. Well, yeah, I'd rather get into deeper water, so we're going to continue on our base course. Just heading due west. And I'll submerge here momentarily. You know what? I'm not going to do it momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and submerge now, and we'll spend the night underwater.
Neue Tiefe 2,5 Meter.
Vorne unten 15, hinten oben 10.
Alright, down we'll go. We'll drop speed as well. Okay, and we'll spend the night underwater. I'll get back to you guys probably during the day when we resurface the boat and continue our transit of the Bay of Biscay. Okay, it's now July 12th. As you can see, we are surfaced. And the weather has taken a turn for the worse. We can't even man our guns, so our only course of action is to crash dive, which is probably what I would do anyway, but it rules out even the possibility of me manning the guns. We return to our standard speed, and we're making around 12 knots here. We're getting pretty close to this shelf here, so we should be in deep water fairly soon. Overall, it was a fairly uneventful night. Saying submerged, we did not travel very far, only maneuvering at 3 knots to conserve battery power. So, that's the next update. It is now July 13th, and as you can see, it is currently raining, and there are very heavy cloud cover, so I don't think we're really going to be intercepted by any aircraft in this weather, so I feel comfortable dropping it down to our normal cruise speed to conserve fuel, which is 2/3 here.
Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
We're pretty close to where I was originally going to reduce our speed. I was going to reduce speed once I hit grid BE right here, so it's close enough. The weather is playing in our favor, it seems, for once. Where once upon a time I cursed awful weather like this, now I welcome it with open arms, so yeah. It's definitely going to help us out, especially avoiding aircraft. But we'll continue to maneuver to the mid-Atlantic gap here, which will still be an Allied air cover for a lot of this journey. It just won't be as thick. It definitely is concentrated in the Bay of Biscay. But it will be a constant worry and a constant threat for pretty much our entire journey. Well, I was just sitting here eating some cashews, and we got this. A large convoy heading east-southeast, speed is slow. And that is just too close not to be tempting. It's an interesting course this convoy has, but I'm sure they'll head back into the Irish Sea. Now, the unfortunate part about this is obviously the weather is spick and span, and we are well in Allied air cover. But you know what? We're going to do it anyway. Let's turn north, all ahead full, and we'll plot a course here and see how long it takes us to reach this position. Going full speed. We don't want to go flank and risk damage to our diesel engines. Let's make sure we're not recharging batteries. No, we are not. I have been spending the nighttime submerged. It is currently July 14th. So I've had one of these little updates pretty much every day so far. Alright, so it'll take us 3 hours and 20 minutes. We'll round up. We'll play safe. We'll say 4 hours. And the convoy's moving 6 knots according to the radio report. So in 4 hours, it'll move 45 kilometers. If it doesn't change course, that is. Oh, wow. It's not going to move very far at all. We definitely should be able to catch it. We'll move here, though, and then cut into it like so. That should be fine. I do have a feeling that it might change course before we reach this point, so we might have to hunt around a little bit. Hopefully there's no Allied aircraft that hamper our pursuit, but we will see. This is pretty dangerous. I love how I started the episode saying I'm not going to do anything stupid. I would put this in the category of stupid. Okay, we picked up some radar signals to the south of us, so we're going to go ahead and turn and attempt to pursue that. Let's see. Turn around. I have a feeling that's probably one of the escorts for the convoy, so I'm going to try to reestablish contact with that. Oh, okay, maybe there's 2 convoys in the area. Well, this convoy is just heading east. We're gonna stick with this. This may have been something completely different. That radar contact. So this one is awfully close. Holy cow. Okay. Let's close in on it. Alright, radar signals right there. Oh, quite a few. Okay, well, I'm not going to play around with that. Down to periscope depth we go. See what we have loaded. We have 2 or 3 G7E torpedoes and 1 G7A fat torpedo. I'll launch that last, since it is steam propulsion, correct? Yeah, gas/steam. So I might just launch that thing into the convoy and see what we hit, just to test it out. Okay, let's drop down speed since they're coming straight for me. What do we have in the stern? I have the Fat 2, which I probably won't launch. And then also the G70 here. Okay. Interesting. Interesting setup we got going on. The weather is a little choppy, so hopefully that'll help us stay undetected. We only have lost. Hydrophone operator can be absolutely useless sometimes. Yep, there it is. It's pretty much dead ahead. There's another convoy. That's the other convoy. Well, good thing I think this is a large convoy, and that's just a convoy, so I think I chose the right one here. The nice meaty one. Oh yeah, we're starting to pick everything up now. Okay, let's drop down to like 12.5 meters just so we don't broach. It is a little choppy out there. I don't want to accidentally broach. Let's take a look.
Kontakt, Kriegsschiff, kommt näher auf 2,5, große Entfernung.
Yeah, no visual contact us yet. Scope down. There we go. We're picking everything up again. There is a destroyer off at 335 degrees. Scope up. Let's take a look. That one might be visible. Sure is. Yep, that's a destroyer. Okay. There's another destroyer. So we have 2 destroyers in visual range. This is kind of nerve-wracking. I hope these guys aren't equipped with hedgehogs. Those are going to be pretty nasty when we encounter them. Okay, we'll continue to close. Change course slightly. Okay, let's take a look. I might drop down to around 60 meters and let the escorts pass overhead, and then come up to periscope depth to commence the attack. Okay, nothing super close. There is a warship, 2-stacker. Looks pretty intimidating. It's a merchant. Okay, I'm starting to see some merchant ships now. Did these guys change course? I think they may have. I don't think they're heading east anymore. Looks like they're... Oh, they're still closing. It's just the way it looks, I suppose. Oh, there we go. I'm getting quite a bit of stuff in view now. Okay, let's change course slightly. Am I heading 310 degrees? Yeah, it should be fine. Let's go down. Did they change course? Oh. Who knows? It is quite foggy. They're fairly close, and I still don't have a... Okay, there's a ship at... right over here, like 320. Oh, as I was saying, it seems to be pretty foggy. We're awfully close, and I'm just now seeing a lot of these guys, and some of them are still emerging through that fog layer. Okay, quite a large convoy, quite a few different targets. Just check for escorts. It's a hunt. I'm worried about whatever, anything over here. Okay. No. Okay, so it looks like this destroyer right here is our most intimidating one. Honestly, this convoy, there's nothing too... there's a T3 tanker on the way other side there, unfortunately. That's going to be kind of hard to get, so I think I might just try to hit this large merchant ship here and get out of dodge. Looks like all the good stuff's on the far side of the convoy. See, there's stuff on the far side of the convoy I can barely even see there. Yeah, it's quite a foggy day. That warship's very freaking close. I could try to shoot the warship, but it's really not worth it. I'd rather conserve my torpedoes and launch at the 10,000 ton vessel next to it. So hopefully this warship will just pass right on by. No questions asked. It's rigged for silent running. And let's drop down a little bit deeper. The sea's pretty close. He's around, about 2 kilometers out. Well, if we start getting pinged, we'll know. Let's drop speed down and drop down to around 14 meters. That's to avoid rising. It's kind of hard to keep depth control when the boat's moving so slowly. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't hear me. If you're watching, this is the warship right here. About to cross right in front of us. Awfully freaking close. Okay, he's not deviating from his course. This is fine. Okay, he's passing the 0 degree line now. Let's change course a little bit. Okay, we're at 14 meters. We should be able to. Let's go ahead and begin setting up our shot. Alright, so we'll shoot tubes 1 and 2. But we will do magnetic pistols. What is the draft of a large merchant ship? I'm only going to target one ship. I'm not too keen on sticking around. We're going to let our 2 torpedoes away and get out of here. 8.9 meters. We'll set a 9.9 meter depth for both tubes 1 and 2. Speed of the convoy is 6 knots. Angle on bow, they're going to be pretty close to 90 degrees, and we'll set range for 1,500 meters. Okay, that should be fine for now. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's take a look. Nice and easy. Okay, there's the destroyer. I'm not too keen on raising my scope much higher than this. We'll take brief glimpses at the convoy. Okay, there's still a pretty good portion of the convoy I can still target. Perfect. This looks good. Okay, let's let that warship continue to pass on by us. Oh my god, he's close. How far is he? Like 800 meters? Okay. Alright, here we go. Let's take another look. Let's do it this way. Okay, there's the large cargo ship. There's our warship, buddy. Looks like he has K launchers. Can't tell if he has a Hedgehog system on board. There's no more escorts around us. That is the closest one, as far as I can tell. And the sun is just about to set. This is actually pretty perfect. Is there anything else really worth? No, I think I'll just stick with the. Oh, there's a tanker way out there. As always, I choose the side of the convoy that is lacking in enemy vessels. Let's see, a tanker. Maybe we can shoot our. The problem is this fat torpedo is steam driven, so it's gonna leave a bubble trail and give my position away. And launching a steam propelled torpedo this close to the destroyer is a no-go. Let's see exactly where it came from. So that is the merchant ship we're going to fire at. He still has a while to get close to us. He's the very last vessel, so this is working out fairly well, I must say. This should be a pretty good attack. Yeah, he's going to be nice and close too. Okay, that should be fine. Let's raise the scope. There she is. Lock on target. Look how heavily armed this merchant ship is now. Large merchant ship. Angle on bow. Actually not bad. 60 degrees. Set speed 6 knots. We'll get a range through this. 1,824 meters. Looking good. Still has a while to travel, however. Man, I kind of want to launch the fat torpedo now. We'll see. Time will tell. Oh, there is a warship pretty close to us, so I might have to pass on the fat torpedo. If only it was electric powered, I would do it. With the steam, it makes me kind of nervous. There's another destroyer closing in on us. There she is. Yeah, Hunt class destroyer. Okay, we'll wait a little bit longer before we launch. Just change course slightly. Go. This should be good. Rudder and midships. Alright, lock on target. Let's get another range reading. Boat is bouncing around with these waves. Alright, 1,000 meters. Perfect. Open tube 1. Angle on bow's a little bit better than that. Okay, we'll aim for this superstructure area and then the funnel. Okay, tube 1. Bye. Open tube 2. Runtime is just over a minute, it seems. Tube 2. Los. Scope down. Drop the boat down to 160 meters. Looks like both torpedoes are running hot, straight, and normal. We'll go ahead and watch this in the external camera as our boat gets down. We'll go nice and slow until we hear a torpedo impact and they all know we're here. And then we'll head full and try to get down as quickly as possible. Here's our first torpedo up ahead. Hopefully the magnetic pistol works. And hopefully we hit. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna hit. Maybe a little bit forward than where I wanted, but that's okay. It's actually close enough. The cranes are still weak points as well. There we go. Yeah, just forward of where I wanted, but a hit's a hit. Well, okay. I guess we need to aim a little forward of that all ahead full. I guess that's where we need to aim now, huh? Isn't that right, Chief? Oh my gosh, that thing was obliterated. And these guys are already tired. Bunch of lightweights. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. We're only at 19 meters and that destroyer is just... it's around 1.7 kilometers out. Time to haul ass. We're actually going to, we're at 29 meters, so let's drop a decoy here. There we go. Let's take a look down here. For those of you who haven't seen the decoys before, there we go. Have quite a few new viewers, so I figured I'd show that off. Also, I need to remember I do have decoys, because there's been, like I said last episode, I did have decoys, and there's quite a few instances where I could have used them, and did not. There Wow. That was a very brutal explosion, however. It's hard to imagine anyone would really survive that. Let's take a look. That merchant ship was 10,076 tons. Dropping down like a rock, though. At 80 meters. Hydrophone operator, if you could, follow the nearest warship. We're not getting pinged just yet, which is a good sign.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,0,0.
Okay, he's passing astern of us. Oh my
Derzeitige
goodness.
Tiefe 1,0,0.
Wow. Really black and heavy smoke.
Entfernt sich auf 310. Große Entfernung.
That's brutal.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,20. Derzeitige Tiefe 1,30.
And that only cost us 2 torpedoes. I do want to be fairly conservative with my torpedoes so I can actually make it to our patrol objective again. Last patrol, I launched all my torpedoes en route, and then we had to turn back a little early. Well, that was a fairly successful attack. Maybe we can give these escorts the slip here. Yeah, I'm aware.
Neue Tiefe 1,75 Meter. Neue Tiefe 1,62 Meter. Derzeitige Tiefe 1,60.
Alright, I'll head 1/3. Drop my speed down to 1 knot. Alright. Well, this is extremely deep. I don't know. This is the deepest we've been in a long time. But thankfully our boat has been repaired, so she can take it. We're going to hang out down here. We're going to drop our speed down to around, well, we want to get it down to 50 RPMs on both motors, which is where we're at. Might need to be a little... Jeez. It's like stuff on that merchant's cooking off now. Okay, well, we're going to hang out down here, and I'll keep you guys updated on any destroyer attacks. It would seem we've given them the slip. That one destroyer was really sniffing around where I launched the decoy, so it seems the decoy was quite effective. We are still at 162 meters, moving at 50 RPM. Just crawling. But I have not heard a depth charge pattern laid down near us. Like I said, I think they picked up that decoy and really focused on that, thankfully, and in that area off over here. And I think we're going to be able to get away scot-free. I'm not too keen on re-engaging this convoy, especially since they're on high alert now, and know that there's a U-boat operating in the area. Let's go ahead and turn south though, just to clear our baffles. Make sure nothing else is pursuing us. Looks like there's a warship way out there. I wonder, that was our pursuer. They only sent one warship to suppress us. Well, we're quite lucky in that retrospect. I guess this convoy has somewhere to be. Yeah, that thing is doing something funky. Okay, it's heading back to the convoy. Okay, well, we will continue on our course and head westward towards the mid-Atlantic. And it is the next day, July 15th, and the boat is surfaced, as you can see, in fairly rough weather. It looks like the clouds kind of rolled in here. But that is going to conclude this episode. It was quite an interesting one, quite a lot of action right off the bat. I do want to say thank you all for watching. Since this is the first episode of the patrol, I'd appreciate it if you guys would leave a like, as it actually really does help quite a lot getting the video out there, and I really wouldn't ask if it didn't. So that is going to conclude this here episode, and that's all I really have to say for the time being. So thank you all for watching. This is Wolfpack345 signing off, and I'll see you guys on the next one.